So let's talk about boundaries. Have you ever been told you're a people pleaser? Do you have trouble telling people no? Are you exhausted because you participate in every function you're invited to? Boundaries for everyone is different. My boundaries will be different than your boundaries, but ultimately our boundaries will affect our relationships. For instance, if you do have trouble telling people no out of fear of letting them down or missing out, but you're exhausted and tired when you get home to your family, this boundary or lack thereof can be unhealthy. Sometimes if we were rejected as children or even as adults, we develop this need to be needed. Being needed can fuel this desire to need love, but can lead us into unhealthy relationships with the opposite sex or even in our friendships. It is important that we recognize these motivations and determine healthy boundaries so we can thrive in our relationships. Here's some healthy tips for how to have boundaries. Number 1, know your limits. Again, my limits are going to be different than yours, and your limits may be different than your spouse. So pay attention to your own limitations. And these limitations may be physically, emotionally, or even financially. Number 2, know your values. Everyone's values are different. It is important to know what we value and why. When we can focus on what we value, it gives us direction on how to have boundaries with people. Number 3, pay attention to your emotional state. We all have days where emotionally we may be less strong than others. But if you find yourself more tearful or more angry than usual, take that as a time to reflect. Do I need rest? Do I need to skip this event? Maybe I don't need to work overtime this week. Number 4, being assertive. It is okay to be assertive, and it is possible to be assertive and respectful. Feeling confident with setting boundaries may take time, but remember that each day is different, so give yourself and others grace. And most importantly, if this topic is an area you know you could work on, remember, setting new boundaries can be uncomfortable for you and for others. So again, give yourself and others grace as you practice and learn this new way of living. Though new boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, the long-term goal is to have healthier relationships, not only with yourself, but also with others.